Hi, everyone. So, I have a story for today. It does go along with my manifest Monday. However, I want to do it today because, in thinking of it, I would have rather done it yesterday, given that it was the 4-year anniversary since my DUI. But instead, I'll do it today. So, 4 years and 1 day since my DUI. Now, what? First, I'm going to explain that situation, and then I'm going to give the backstory and why I feel that I actually did attract that situation. And I don't want to say that it's something I wanted or needed, but it was certainly a resolution, and I was asking for a resolution. So let me start with that night. So it wasn't even Halloween night, I don't think. I really don't even know. It might have, I don't know if it was Halloween or Halloween weekend, and I went out with a bunch of friends, and I saw a bunch of friends, and I saw family, and it was a really good night. And here it is about 3 a.m., and I am driving home. Now, the thing is, the friend I was with at the time, she really offered, let me take you home. We can come get your car in the morning. And I just didn't want to deal with it. We've done that before, and for whatever reason that night I was like, I just don't want to deal with it. I just want to sleep in the morning. I just want to not deal with it. I'm going to drive myself home. So I'm going to drop you off, and then I'm going to drive me home. So that's what happened. I was driving home. I had just turned left onto my street, and I noticed a car behind me, and I was thinking, how weird is that? It's so late. And of course, when you live in a neighborhood for a certain amount of time, you do become familiar with who might be out at that time, and really it was only me. So I found it odd that there was this car behind me. Well, I'm looking in the rearview mirror and thinking that, and as I put on my right blinker to turn into my driveway, the car behind me, which was apparently a cop, puts on his lights to pull me over. So I was a little frustrated, thinking I'm at home, I'm in my driveway, and not only that, I know for a fact I was not speeding. I used my signal lights. I know all of this for a fact because a week prior I had been pulled over. So I was very adamant about doing everything that I knew needed to be done to prevent getting pulled over, especially if I had been drinking. Because the week prior, I'd been pulled over for speeding, of which I actually was doing. And I'm very thankful that that was just a speeding ticket. So this go round, I'm like, what's going on? I know I used my blinker. I know I'm not speeding. I know, to an extent, I'm doing everything I should be doing. Well, the officer pulls me over, and of course he asks, do you know why I pulled you over? And I'm thinking, no, not at all. I have no idea. And I tell him this. Again, we're in my driveway. So he lets me know that it's because my license plate lamp over my back license plate is out. It's believable. It's happened before. So I'm thinking, all right, fine. Well, anyway, I end up having to do the whole test, and I had on boots that were too big, and I even offered, I'm like, can I go inside and change my boots? They're too big, and it was like, no, you cannot go in your house. All right, fine, I'll do this with these on. And to be fair, I was intoxicated. I feel that I was not as intoxicated as maybe I had been other times, or that I was at the height of that night. So anyway, I did their test and I failed it. And then I had to get in the back of the cop car, and I was being arrested, and I just couldn't believe it, because when I had finished the test, I walked back over to the officers, because at this point now there's two, and they've got their lights going, and again, it's 3 a.m., so I asked the officers, I'm like, can you guys please turn off your lights? And their response was, why? And I'm like, because it's really embarrassing, and it's 3 a.m. in the morning, and he said they could turn off certain lights, but not all of the lights. So anyway, I get back from doing the test. I'm standing with the two officers, and all he tells me is turn around and face my other officer, please. And so I'm like, okay. So I do it, and it's place your hands behind your back, and I'm like, what is... And then I have handcuffs on, and I'm just like, is this really happening right now? Like, I'm being arrested in front of my house, in front of the neighbors, like whoever's up and paying attention. Like, I could not believe I was being arrested. Now, I was dressed up. I actually had on, this is like my favorite dress. I was actually wearing it earlier. I do love this dress. So I had on this dress and some, basically lingerie underneath. So at one point, the dress was kind of hiking up, and I'm like trying to pull it down with these handcuffs on. It wasn't really working, so the officer helps pull it down, which I am thankful for, but it was just an interesting situation. Somebody had recently mentioned, like, it wasn't a good night for you, and I'm like, it kind of was, it wasn't, but it was. So I got my DUI. I want to say my BAC was like a 1.38, or I don't remember exactly how all that goes, a 0.138. I'm not even 100% sure. And quite frankly, I don't care to remember these details because it's not something I do want to go around, talking about. It's not something I'm proud of. It's something that's happened. And with that being said, it was difficult for me to differentiate that I wasn't a bad person. For a while after it happened, I felt like I was a bad person. I was just this horrible person. And I really had to differentiate that I made a poor decision. I am not a bad person. So I hope that some people can find some strength in those words. That just because we make bad decisions and poor decisions and good decisions does not make us that type of a person. It's just a decision playing into a part of a whole. And there are lots and lots that contribute to our whole. So anyway, there is this story of my DUI. Again, in my driveway, I cannot stress that enough. I have had people say, you should have just ran in and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, the whole thing was just extremely frustrating. But again, not horrible. It's happened. It is what it is. Now I want to talk about why I feel I actually helped produce that outcome in my own life. Like, why would you do that? I'm sure you're wondering, like, why would you even say you did something like that you helped cause that? Well, I feel that we all cause a lot of what happens in our lives. We just don't care to take responsibility for it. So with that being said, I'm not happy entirely about the actions. But I'm just going to be real and honest right now. So I had just moved back to Colorado Springs after pretty much I was in the process of divorcing my ex-husband. And so me and my boys moved back up here. I don't know if it was a combination of being single again, being a working mom, having my independence, and just really full-fledged, I'm getting back to who I am and really enjoying myself, which for about a year or two was pretty much the norm. Now, again, I do have my two boys, and obviously they were younger at that point, but I did have a lot of trust in them. I would, however, go to work at 6 a.m. in the morning, work until about 3, come home, get dinner ready, eat dinner. That's always been a big thing for us. And then I would be out the door. Now, there was a week that I remember tallying up the amount of hours of sleep I had gotten that week. And for the entire week, it was a total of 17 hours. I knew that just really wasn't healthy. I knew that all of the drinking was not healthy, or I felt that it wasn't healthy. I knew that I was taking risks by driving intoxicated. And a lot of times I'm very, very thankful that my story is what it is, because it could always be worse. So I'm thankful for mine being what it is. I got to a point where I really did want to quit drinking and going out, but it was just so much fun for me that I didn't really know how to stop that. I was just really having a good time, and I wanted change, but at the same time, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to really address that change. How to, I'm going to play with my hair really quick. How to implement that change. I didn't know how to start, maybe. You know, all I knew is that I wanted to start spending more evenings at home with my children, and I wanted the drinking to become less and less. But again, I just wasn't able to figure out how I was going to do that. And I remember even thinking at times, I feel like I need to ground myself. I need to put myself on this timeout, this grounding where I can't go out and run around and have fun and play and do whatever. I felt like I needed to ground myself, but I did not have the self-discipline at that time to do that. I was too busy being engaged with the fun aspect of everything. Although again, I knew I wanted to go this other way as well. Well, I obviously started to get nervous, as I feel we do when we know we're probably doing something that we're not really comfortable with, that doesn't really resonate well with us. And I remember telling a couple of my friends that I was going to get a DUI. And one of them even said, "Don't think like that, don't say that." And I said, well, you know, and again, it's not what I wanted, but I wanted resolution to the problems or to what I was doing, because I just couldn't find that discipline. And so I do feel that the universe gave that to me. Now, I do want to say that prior to that happening, it was 1 week prior, I was pulled over. I had been drinking. You know, this is why I wanted to ground myself. Again, I'm not proud to sit here and tell you these things, but this is what the situation was at the time. So I'd been pulled over. I had been drinking. There's a lot more, but I'm going to just keep it there. And so I'm thankful that that was just the speeding ticket. But this is where I feel that the universe, God, whatever you call, whatever happens that helps make everything happen, whatever that is, I do feel very strongly that that was kind of like, hey, here, we're going to give you this really big warning, Kate, that you say you want more discipline and you want to stay at home more. So we're going to give you this out right here. We're going to get you pulled over where you could easily get in a lot more trouble than what my DUI ended up being. We could easily do that. But we're going to let you get off with a speeding ticket because we see the true intent. We know you want to be at home, and we know, and this whole week, I don't know who this is, but this is, again, what I am relating to you from my experience that happened. So I feel that whatever is out there, which I call the universe, was really on my side and working with me, especially in that instance where I'd gotten pulled over the week before and I'd gotten off with just a speeding ticket. I feel like that was my out. Here, we're going to pull you over so you can get scared and get your shit together. That obviously wasn't enough because a week later. So this is one of those stories where I do feel very strongly that I can show our actions, our thoughts, our feelings, all of that play into what we get. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly. It's all there together. we can't just take responsibility for the good, fun stuff. I mean, that's extremely easy. Like, oh yeah, look, I asked for this and now I got it. And who really wants to say I asked for a DUI? And again, I didn't. I asked for a resolution, but I didn't know how to get there, and I said specific things that, in my opinion, got me to where I was going. Now, again, I do want to just say I am thankful for my situation having had happen the way it did. I'm just ever thankful that it's not the I was looking forward to, as far as being able to spend more time at home and be there with my boys, which is very important to me. So, all right, I am thankful to get this off of my chest. I am thankful to share the experience with you, regardless of what it is what it is. So be safe, make smart decisions, and more than anything, trust yourself. If you have a hunch or a feeling that you want to do something different or change what you're doing, I feel that be specific with your resolutions, your solutions, your outcomes. Really ensure that the focus is what you want and not just kind of left completely open while knowing what you want, if that makes sense. For example, I wanted resolution. I just couldn't find the self-discipline until I was forced to. So thank you everybody for listening. If you have liked this video, hit the like button for me. If you found any of it useful or beneficial or know somebody who may, please go ahead and share it. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love to see you subscribe today. Thank you so much. Have a good one, everyone.